What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Uncrowd Otaku. I've been requested to do another top 10. This one, top 10 Hajime no Ippo fights. Somebody in the comments of one of my videos was like, I'd love to see a top 10 Hajime fights video. And I was like, oh, I can do that. That'd be dope, actually. So, I'm a man of the people. And here we are. For the king. This one's for the kingdom. Coming in at number 10, we're starting off with... Wait, no, it'll be right over here. Boom, I messed it up. Itagaki versus Sayaki. Now, this was kind of like Itagaki's breakout fight to me. And it really, this is why I like Itagaki as a boxer. We saw him really get into his, what does he call it? Speed zone, bullet zone, focus zone, bullet time, whatever it is. I'm going to call it the speed zone. He gets into that speed zone where he's hyper focused and he can see like twitches and muscle fibers and stuff, so he can tell when somebody's gonna faint, and then he'll start doing it, throwing off his opponent. Pretty much everything's moving in slow motion, so it's like he can bow and hit you and be undefeated. He was going up against Sayaki, who was known as being a speedster in Ippo's generation. So it was a speedster on speedster battle. It was like a passing of the speedster torch, if you will. And it was where we saw Itagaki really get tested and really kind of learn his way. Now, will Itagaki be in the rest of this list? Yeah, you'll probably see it one more time. And I got if y'all see me glancing over there, a little behind the scenes, this is where my list is, because Ippo had a lot of fights. I had to write them down, because it's just too many fights just to remember off the top of the noggin. Number 9, we had Miata versus Mashiba. Boom, we got it right here. Now, this is where we were introduced really to our first villain of the Ippo franchise. Ippo got into boxing. Miata was his rival from Jump Street. They were in the rookie tournament together. Ippo was advancing. Miata was supposed to advance. Miata was fighting Mashiba, and he was dogging Mashiba. Mashiba got to the point where he was like, I can't lose it. I'll do whatever it takes. And he steps on Miata's foot and then, bow, lays him out. Because Miata couldn't move to do his counter. So he got hit, and Miata gets eliminated from the tournament. We were supposed to see an Ippo-Miata fight. If Mashiba didn't cheat, we would have seen the fight that we've actually never seen the whole franchise. This sent Ippo into kind of like I gotta get him. This is the evil guy. He's fighting dirty. We're gonna beat him up if he makes it to the finale. So that's why that fight makes number 9. It's kind of memorable, not too memorable, but it's I feel like it's an important moment. Number 8, we have Takamura versus Keith Dragon. Now, I'm putting this one in here because Keith Dragon had Lady Luck herself on his side. Like, everything was going his way. They played shogi, and we saw how, like, a professional shogi player got owned by this dude who was playing for fun, but just had luck. Like, everything was going his way. Takamura was almost in a car accident, injured his ankle. It was looking like everything that could go wrong for Takamura would. And in that fight, Takamura says, screw your lady luck. Screw your goddess of luck. If you got a god on your side, I got my coach behind my back. All right, you want to turn this into a 2-on-1 fight? Nah, now we 2-on-2. And Takamura beat up Keith Dragon and dismissed the claims of him having some kind of supreme luck where he could never be defeated. Takamura handled his business in that fight. And that's why it makes number 8. Number 7, we have Ippo versus Sawamura. Now, a lot of people would probably rate this as their number 1 fight. For me, it's number 7 because it was a good fight. It was a damn good fight. It was in the anime, too. The anime doesn't go as far as the manga does, but this animated fight was really good. It was kind of like Ippo versus the ultimate dirty cheater. He was hitting Ippo when he was down, trying to get him caught up in the ropes, stepping on his foot, going for every dirty headbutts, every dirty trick he could in the book. And Ippo handled his business. I'm going to kind of speed through this. I don't want the video to get too long. Number 6, Takamura versus the Eagle. This was honestly one of Takamura's most professional fights, where he didn't really get too outside of himself, tap too much into that primal rage. It was like excellent boxer versus excellent boxer, boxing at its apex, at its pinnacle. I love that fight. That's number 6. Number 7, Itagaki versus Imai. This is right after Ippo decided he's going to challenge the world. He vacated the Japanese featherweight championship. Imai versus Itagaki for the vacant title. Itagaki was supposed to receive the baton that Ippo was passing off, but he dropped it. He got too cocky. He got too confident. He was thinking about the speed zone holding him down. I know it's not called the speed zone. I really think it's called the bullet zone, but I can't be for sure, so I'm going to keep calling it the speed zone. But Itagaki, we saw him get too overconfident, thinking he couldn't be hit. Imai gritted out through the early onslaught and just hit him with a mean punch with a lot of power behind it. And Imai became the featherweight champion that should have been Itagaki. Heart-wrenching moment, but it had to make it up there. Itagaki versus Imai, number 5. Number 4, we have Coach Kamigawa. This was during the flashback versus Anderson. And this is the battle for Nakota's revenge. Anderson kind of hit Nakota in the head a lot more than he needed to. He was talking bad about the Japanese. So Kamigawa was like, nobody does that to my friend. I'm a handle business. And they get in there and they start throwing mean blows. Like this is boxing. And Coach Kamigawa, we see him grit out an onslaught. His fist is even bloody. He takes a punch from Anderson just so he can give him that liver blow. And we see in that liver blow, like this is kind of what Ippo gets his liver blow from. So we see Coach Kamigawa, in a sense, kind of in that flashback, we see that this is what he did, and he's passing his teachings on to Ippo. Ippo is a Coach Kamigawa of the future, if you will. And we just see he boom with a right, boom with a left, and just KOs Anderson. And that was good for just the culture back then. That was good for the Japanese culture, because they was talking down on him. So that fight had to make number 4. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Haven't watched any of these top 5 fights, go watch them. Well, Itagaki versus Imai, I don't think you can't watch it. Anime didn't go that far, but these top 4, go watch them. You can watch all of these, yeah. Number 3, that was number 4. Number 4 is Kamigawa versus Anderson. Number 3, Ippo versus Sendo in the battle of the rookies. Ippo won his rookie tournament. Sendo won his rookie tournament. So they're bringing East versus West. Champions of the East, champion of the West. They're both power punchers. Ippo has that one-hit liver blow. Sendo has his super smash. They were both like carbon copies. This was going to be an excellent power versus power fight, and it lived up to all the expectations. Ippo and Sendo became rivals, eternal rivals, friends and rivals. And they fight like 3 times. But the first one, that was the most memorable for me. Ippo ate a smash. Like, he ate a smash and just gave him that liver blow. Chef's kiss to that fight. Number 2, we have Ippo versus Date. Date, who was the current Japanese featherweight champion. Ippo won his tournament, got the right to challenge for the title. And this is where we see Ippo take his first loss. Ippo's only lost. He lost to, I believe, Gonzalez, then Alfredo, and Date. Ippo's only lost 3 times in his whole career. His first loss, we see Ippo, the man who we think is unbeatable, can take so much damage. Date hits him with a heartbreak punch and lays him out. Ippo's laid face down on the mat eating canvas. That had to make the top tier. We don't see Ippo get beat up like that. We don't see Ippo lose. He gets beat up every time, but we don't see Ippo lose like that. So his first loss had to make the list. And it was a hell of a fight. Ippo was still kind of new into the boxing world, got his feet wet, fought a champion who got demolished by Ricardo. Yeah, that fight made number 2. And at number 1, we have my favorite fight of all time, Takamura versus Brian Hawk. The battle of the 2 prodigies. Champion. It was a championship fight. And Takamura and Hawk are, honestly, they are 2 sides of the same coin. Same personalities, same gifted bodies and reflexes, same monstrous power. And we saw them going tit for tat, one of the best animated fights you'll ever see in the Ippo franchise. Go watch that fight. Takamura was pushed to the limit, and when he beat Hawk, he made Hawk retire from boxing. That's how bad he beat him. Hawk slapped Coach Kamigawa. That's what really set Takamura off, because he slapped Coach Kamigawa, and we know how much Takamura respects and admires the coach, kind of like it's his own father, low-key. And for somebody to disrespect the coach like that, Takamura held in all his anger, and when he got in the ring, he let them gloves sing. One of the best fights you'll see. That's forever my number 1. I love that fight. It's ingrained in my memory. I suggest y'all really watch that. But that's been my top 10 Ippo fights, anime and manga. How did you guys like it? Did any of your fights make my list? What would your number 1 have been? Comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that social media jazz. Y'all already know, Uncrowned Kingdom. My videos, hot like the fire that protects the kingdom. Now let's go ahead. We're about to MC roll on out here, y'all. I'm out. Peace.